After 100 years, I feel grateful every day. My name is Dorothy. I am 100 years old. And this morning, just like every morning for as long as I can remember, I woke up and said thank you. Not to anyone in particular, just thank you. Thank you for another morning. Thank you for the light coming through my window. Thank you for the sound of birds outside. Thank you for the simple, extraordinary fact that I am still here, still breathing, still thinking, still feeling, 100 years. When I say that number out loud, even I find it difficult to believe. 100 years of mornings, 100 years of seasons changing, 100 years of birthdays and funerals and ordinary Tuesdays that felt like nothing at the time, but now feel like everything. People come to visit me sometimes. Young people mostly. They sit across from me and they look at me like I hold some great secret, like I must know something they do not. And they ask me, "Dorothy, how did you make it this far? What is your secret?" And I always give them the same answer. Gratitude. Not the kind you perform, not the kind you write in a journal once a week because someone told you to. Real gratitude. Deep gratitude. The kind that lives in your bones. The kind that changes the way you see everything. That is my secret. And today I want to tell you exactly what I mean, because gratitude saved my life. Not once, many times. I was not born into an easy life. I want you to know that. I did not grow up with money or comfort or security. My family was poor. My childhood was hard. I lost my father when I was 9 years old. My mother worked 3 jobs to keep us fed. I wore the same 2 dresses to school every week and pretended I did not notice when the other children whispered. Life did not hand me anything easily. And when I was young, I carried a lot of bitterness about that. Why us? Why me? Why does life have to be so hard when it seems so easy for others? I carried that question for years. It was heavy. It was exhausting. It made everything darker than it needed to be. Then I got married. I was 24. His name was George. He was a gentleman, a quiet man, the kind of man who fixed things without being asked and never needed credit for it. On our first morning together as husband and wife, I woke up before him. I lay there in the early light and I looked at his face sleeping beside me. And for the first time in years, maybe the first time in my life, I felt something uncomplicated, something clean and simple and pure. I felt grateful, not for anything grand, not for wealth or success or perfect circumstances, just for that moment, that man, that morning. And something shifted in me. I did not have a name for it then. I did not understand what was happening. But something changed in my chest that morning. Something opened. I started noticing things I had never noticed before. The smell of coffee in the morning, the weight of a warm blanket, the sound of rain on a roof, the way George hummed to himself while he worked. Small things, invisible things. Things that cost nothing and mean everything. And the more I noticed them, the more of them there seemed to be. It was like gratitude had given me new eyes, eyes that could see beauty in places I had only seen hardship before. George and I were married for 52 years. We had 4 children. We did not have a lot of money. There were years that were genuinely hard, years when I did not know how we would pay the bills, years when the children were sick and I was scared, years when George and I argued and the house felt cold even in summer. But through all of it, I held on to gratitude, not because everything was good, not because I was pretending things were fine when they were not, but because gratitude was the one thing that kept me from drowning. When things were hard, I forced myself to find one thing, just one thing that was still right, one thing that was still good, one thing that was still beautiful. And I held on to it like a rope, like a lifeline, and it kept me afloat. George passed away when I was 76. We had been together for 52 years, and I had no idea how to exist without him. The house was so quiet, so empty. I would wake up in the night and reach for him and find nothing there, and the grief would hit me all over again like it was brand new. Those were the darkest years of my life. But even then, even in the deepest grief, every morning I found something, some small thing to be grateful for. The letter my daughter sent me that week, the neighbor who brought soup, the photograph of George on our wedding day that made me smile even through the tears, the memory of his voice, the fact that I had loved and been loved completely for 52 years, and that no amount of grief could take that away from me. Grief and gratitude can live together. I learned that. You do not have to choose between them. You can miss someone with everything you have and still find beauty in the morning. You can carry loss and light at the same time. That is one of the most important things I know. I am 100 years old. I have outlived my husband. I have outlived 2 of my children. I have outlived most of my friends. I have watched people I loved more than my own life disappear from this world one by one. And still, every morning, I wake up and I say thank you. People think that must be very hard, and yes, some mornings it is. Some mornings gratitude is not easy. Some mornings I have to look harder for it. But it is always there, always. If you look honestly, if you look with willing eyes, there is always something. There is always one thing, and one thing is enough to start. Let me tell you what gratitude has done for my body, because this is something people do not talk about enough. I believe, truly believe, that gratitude kept me physically healthy far longer than anything else. I never smoked. I ate simply. I walked every day for most of my life, but beyond that, I did not carry hate. I did not carry bitterness. I did not carry grudges. And those things, hate and bitterness and old anger, they live in the body. They tighten the muscles. They raise the blood pressure. They exhaust the heart. Every time I chose gratitude over resentment, and it was always a choice, I was choosing my own health. I was choosing my own life. Forgiveness is part of gratitude. I want to say that clearly, because you cannot be truly grateful while you are holding on to anger towards someone else. Anger and gratitude cannot live in the same space. One will always push the other out. So I chose gratitude. Again and again and again, I forgave people who hurt me. I forgave people who never apologized. I forgave people who probably never even knew they had hurt me. Not for their sake, for mine, because I wanted to be free, and forgiveness is freedom. I have lived in many different circumstances in my 100 years. I have been poor. I have been comfortable. I have been healthy. And I have been sick. I have been surrounded by people, and I have been deeply alone. And what I know, what 100 years has taught me, is that your circumstances do not determine your happiness. Your perspective does. I have known wealthy people who were miserable. I have known people with very little who radiated joy. The difference was never the circumstances. The difference was always the lens. Gratitude is a lens. It does not change what is in front of you. It changes how you see what is in front of you. And when you change how you see, everything changes. You begin to notice that ordinary life is full of extraordinary moments. A grandchild's laugh, a good cup of tea, a letter from an old friend, the first warm day after a long winter, a stranger who holds the door open, a song that finds you at just the right moment. These things were always there. Gratitude just helps you see them. I want to say something to the young people watching this, the ones who are 20, 30, 40, the ones who feel like they do not have enough money, enough success, enough love, enough time. I want to say you have more than you know. Right now, today, in this ordinary moment that feels like nothing special, you have more than you know. Stop waiting to be grateful until things are perfect. Things will never be perfect. Life is not designed for perfection. It is designed for experience, for growth, for love, for loss, for all of it together, and all of it, even the hard parts, even the painful parts. All of it is something to be grateful for, because it means you are alive. It means you are here. It means you are feeling and experiencing and growing. And that is the whole point. I started every morning with thank you when I was 24 years old, and I have not stopped. On the good mornings and the terrible mornings. On the mornings full of joy and the mornings full of grief. On the ordinary mornings, the ones that make up most of a life, and on the extraordinary ones. Every morning, thank you. And every evening before I close my eyes, I do the same. I think back through the day. I find 3 things, just 3, that I am grateful for. They do not have to be big things. A good meal, a phone call with my granddaughter, sunshine through the window, the fact that my body carried me through another day. 3 things, every night for decades. That practice, morning gratitude and evening gratitude, has been the architecture of my happiness. It has been the frame that holds my life together. So let me ask you something. What are you grateful for today, right now, in this moment? Before you scroll past this video and go back to your day, just stop for 30 seconds. Think of one thing, just one, something real, something true, something that is yours, and say thank you for it, out loud if you can, in your heart if you cannot. Just say it, because gratitude grows when you feed it. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. The more natural it becomes, the more you notice. The more you notice, the richer your life feels. Not because anything has changed on the outside, but because everything has changed on the inside. My name is Dorothy. I am 100 years old. I have lived through more than I could ever tell you in one sitting. I have loved deeply and lost completely and started over more times than I thought possible. And through all of it, the one constant, the one anchor, the one habit that never left me was gratitude. Wake up tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone, before you think about your problems, before you remember your worries. Just lie there for one moment. Feel your heart beating. Feel the breath in your lungs. Look at the light coming through your window. And say thank you, just thank you, for one more morning, for one more chance, for this one beautiful, ordinary, extraordinary life that is yours and no one else's. It is enough. You are enough. Life, even with all its pain and confusion and loss, life is enough. It is more than enough. It is everything. My name is Dorothy. I woke up this morning, and I said thank you. I hope tomorrow morning you do too. Good morning, and God bless you.